Now, you only have to think back to the 60s and the early 70s to think of who the counterculture was. It was usually typically young people, long haired hippies, people who were opposing war. We're talking about love. We're talking about the big corporations being wicked and evil, and just generally big government being not a good thing and having a mistrust of government. How things have changed. Now, the people who are the revolutionaries, the counterculture, are sane, rational people. People who think their kids ought to be their kids, that no one else should be the one teaching them about sex or taking them away from them or indoctrinating them. People who believe, for some odd, strange reason, that they should be free to decide what they put into their own bodies. Even beyond that, these are crazy people who think that, perhaps their country shouldn't be in endless wars in different places, and for some odd reason, worrying more about the citizens of their own country than the citizens of some country abroad, far and far away. And for really, something that's really odd about these counter-revolutionaries, they somehow believe that their politicians should be looking out for their welfare instead of lining their own pockets. Well, how do I know the revolutionaries are starting to win the culture war? Folks like you and I who watch this. Well, I can point to a few names. Tom Macdonald, Adam Calhoun. If you don't know who Tom Macdonald is or Adam Calhoun, they're rappers. And Tom is actually a Canadian who moved to the States. And he's an amazing rapper. You got to watch his latest couple. He drops great songs all the time. But American Flags and Your America. Check it out. I'm going to put a link in the notes section. You got to watch these videos. They are speaking truth bombs after truth bomb. And you know what I find really interesting is when I watch reactions amongst Black people, that's right, ethnic people, Hispanic people, different nationalities in the States or wherever else they may be, they all seem to resonate with Tom, even though he's a white guy, and so is Adam. They seem to be resonating with the message that enough is enough, and it's time we take our country, our ideas, our values back from the insane idiots that have taken over. They can take Jason Aldean, not in a small town. I mean, think about it. This is what America was built on, small town values. And what's he basically saying? Well, he's saying, look, in a small town, we look after one another. We're neighborly. We are related to one another. We think of each other as kin and family. And you're not pulling that shit down here. That's really what he's talking about. And latest, Oliver Anthony with, rich man north of Richmond. Bottom line, what's he talking about? He's talking about being left behind. The common, ordinary man, the working man, is long forgotten, and nobody really gives a shit. Well, they actually do every 4 years when it's time to vote. And you've got these politicians who come along and say, no, man, I love you. I care about you. All these sorts of things. Just vote for me, man. I'm going to look after you. And while they're busily lining their own pockets, and the second they're elected, they give a rat's ass about anyone. And these people are all lamenting what's going on in their countries. Now, this, mind you, this is all in America, but it's happening worldwide. People all over the world are waking up to a reality that the globalists and the elitists, those who believe in collectivism and not individualism, are running the show. And quite frankly, they don't care what you think. You are just one of the unwashed masses to them. And bottom line, it's, I think of it as simply like sheep to the shearing on a regular basis. Your purpose is to work on a regular basis, grow that new layer of wool so they can shear it again and again and again. And people are sick and tired of it. They're pushing against the LGBTQ plus all the craziness. If you look at what happened to Target, their sales were down the first time in 6 years. That's right, folks. A boycott effectively worked. People stopped buying their crap. Anheuser-Busch, record amounts of money being lost. There's talk about the original family buying that brand back now. This is what's happening. Disney, stock prices down 50 odd %. Wonder why? Well, it's because they're pumping out shit after shit story about, nothing that the average person's interested in other than indoctrination and bullshit that's left, right, and center. That is what's happening, folks. So take heart. We are beginning to win the culture war. And when I say we, I'm talking rational, normal people. People who believe that men can't give birth. Yes, crazy people who believe this sort of stuff, or who believe that their politicians should be worrying about their own citizens, not people abroad somewhere. And that the goal of their government isn't to push trans rights worldwide while they have no rights in their own nation and they're being suppressed and their bank accounts are being frozen and their rights are being taken away and they're not even free to worship the God they believe in. And yet they're to kneel at the altar of the politician and whatever he or she or they or them or whatever espouses is the order of the day. Anyway, I encourage you, like I said, check out those videos, check out those artists, Tom Macdonald, Adam Calhoun, check out Jason Aldean, watch his stuff, Oliver Anthony. You know, these are people who are singing and speaking to the times we're living in. And let's face it, folks, music is a powerful tool. It moves people. And this is one thing that those of us who've, railed against the insanity have realized, that we have to be in the culture war. We have to be presenting an alternative point of view. And nothing gets through quicker than film, than music, all of these sorts of things, and connecting with people, whether they be young or old. Anyway, I look forward to seeing you next time. You can also follow me on my Rumble and my Locals account. I'm also at Twitter at Camera612. Share your comments, share your thoughts. Like I said, check out those videos, check out those songs, and I will see you next time.